Hey guys, it's Rohano100 and today we have my Guild Wars 2 review, which is a little bit late, but finally it's here, and I will be talking about Guild Wars 2 from a perspective of a gamer and also as a reviewer. So we're going to go through the story, um, the PvE, the PvP, the game mechanics, all of the gameplay. We'll be going through what Guild Wars 2 is all about, my opinion on it, and also I may or may not give my recommendation. But if you have been playing it, then you know then you know how good it is, and it's a really new, fresh air in the MMO genre. In the background, you will have trailers from Gamescom and trailers from the launch trailer, I think. Also, I will be having some small parts of my gameplay there, just for eye candy. So I will say I was not a really big fan of Guild Wars 1. I don't know why. I think I just preferred WoW over Guild Wars, but Guild Wars 2 is something else. It is much better. It is, in my opinion, worthy of MMO of the year. Um, it has some really cool game mechanics. But first, let's go over the presentation. So Guild Wars 2 is really looking good. This game looks incredible to be a MMO. Not as good as Terra though, but I will say it looks much better than most of the MMOs that is coming out. Um, you can really see the production value, both when it comes to the art style, the story, the narration, just everything. So when you start in the game, you get the opinion or you get the chance of choosing your own story. This is your personal story. It's not very linear. It has plenty of choices that you can do to change the story up a little bit. There's even different quests that you can do based on what things you do in the story. So it's going to be different from person to person, and there's a lot of things that goes into it. It also depends on the race and what kind of class you're playing or profession. Um, but let's go through it with a little bit more depth. Um, First off, the music is incredible. I can really listen to this music for a long time without having to even play the game, and that's really good. The world is beautiful. The voice acting can be a little bit off track sometimes, but the Char voices are really good. I really like them. But sometimes, especially the Asura voices, I don't really like them. I don't think they fit at all, but that's just my opinion. My main character, actually, I hated his voice for some reason. But I guess that's okay. They haven't really been putting in as much work in the voice acting as, let's say, Star Wars The Old Republic did. But it's still a very fine add-on because um, it tells the story, and that's really what matters. Well, let's just go over the gameplay. The gameplay in Guild Wars 2 is quite different from other MMOs. It is action combat, like in Terra, where you actually have to dodge attacks. You actually have to aim when you're using spells. They are not going to hit your target just because you're pointing at them. No, you really need to hit them. There are plenty of spells to choose from, and it actually can change depending on the weapon you're holding. For example, if I'm holding, let's say, two swords, I will have different weapons depending on what sword I have in each hand. If I have a shield, if I have a great sword, everything will depend on the weapon you're using, and even if you are doing combat underwater or normal combat. Actually, the underwater combat in this game is really good. That's the first time I ever said that about an MMO. I really like the underwater combat. Also, the spells are really neat. So you got a variety of races you can go through. You have 5 races. You have the Norn, which is like this heavy, like I'll say they are like this a little bit more bulky humans. Then you have the humans, of course. Then you have the Char, which is like this beast race. Then you have the Asura, which is like really small, smart people, I'll say. But they're not like gnomes. They're a totally different race. and that's also the race I choose to play with. And finally, you have the Sylvari, and those are the 5 races. And you got 8 professions to choose from, which is the engineer, the necromancer, the elementalist, the warrior, the guardian, ranger, mesmer, and thief. And all the classes play very differently, not in the way that they are like have totally different combat, but their spells are unique to them. They are fun to play with, and then you also each level earn like some tribute points that you can use to strengthen your character, like that old talent trees in WoW did. Just that you're getting some passive help. You all the time you have 5 active skills from your weapons. Then you have 3 skills of choice from your skill inventory or perks, I will call them. And you can level them how you want, and you can get really cool things. Like for me, I was an elementalist that only used long range spells, but still I was able to get this great sword of fire and things like that, like a bow of ice. I can even summon one of my a golem to help me. That was really cool. So again, there's plenty of things you can do, plenty of ways to play. There is no healer, tank, and DPS. You know, the holy trinity of MMO is gone, and you pretty much have everybody for themselves. You know, but still you need to work together. There are some people that will say they are tanky builds, of course, and there is also more damage builds, but there is no healer, raw healer, I will say, other than the elementalists, because they have this water element, water attuned, that they can actually use water spells to heal, but at the same time it's not enough to keep a party alive. So I will say that the Holy Trinity is gone. They have done that in a great way. There's plenty of weapons to choose from. Also, there is this personal storyline that works very well with each character. You actually you want to invest more time with them. There is 80 levels, which is quite much, I'll say, for a starter MMO. You know, WoW when it first launched had 60, Old Republic with 50, and so on. So that's a great number. Also, there is no subscription fee, and that is, holy god, this is no subscription free fee, because all you have to do is pay for the game once, and then you can play as much as you want when you want. There is no like something pulling you, trying to tell you that you're wasting money if you don't play the game. And this is actually quite surprising because the game is so good. Um, Also, one thing I want to mention is that the game itself, the stories in the game, there are plenty of stories there. Not all are excellent, but most are passable. Some are really good, and of course there are some poor ones there as well. Um, no, but Guild Wars 2 is a really good MMO. I would really like you to check it out. There is not much of an end game, I can say that. You know, there are end game there and things to do, but at the same time, it is really, I'll say it's not that good as other MMOs. But the leveling itself is really fun. You want to level more than one character to see how your personal story is unfolding. Uh, and I'm not going to spoil, but there are giant boss fight that you're going to do that is really fun. Um, then you of course have world PvP. You have PvP that you can do normally, and then of course you have world PvP where they are putting 3 servers against each other, trying to control this giant map, or 4 giant map to be honest. And it's just brutal, you know, seeing hundreds of players fighting each other. Teamwork at its best, catapults going everywhere. It is quite fun, and I will say that's really an impressive feat. But of course, the login times when the game started was really bad, I will say. The servers were shut down several times, but I think it's starting to fix itself. There's also the guilds, of course. You can have this big guild, helping each other, building stuff, getting perks, and you also choose what you want to research first, like guild banners, guild emblems, and so on. And when people log in, you will then get points that you can spend, or the guild leader can spend. You can also be a member of more than one guild at a time, but you have to represent one of the guilds you're joining. You can also make your own guild, so that's great. Play with friends, that's a recommendation, because it's really fun. And yes, some of the quests are really good designed. No longer do you have to go through. You don't have to run back and forth between the quest givers. And there are, of course, only the same quest, and sometimes you actually have to go back, not backtracking, but you have to go to other places that are lower than your level in order to gain experience points from the quests. But you will scale down, so it's still a challenge. You can also find skill points everywhere to increase your skill level, to train your perks. So yeah, this game has a lot of things for that amount of money. I will say it's definitely worth your money. I would give this game a 9.5, I think. I will really recommend it to you guys. You should check it out. The PvEs, by the way, are great. Good design, but I will say this game has not much of an end content. So if you are really worried about that, you should be a little bit more skeptical. But I'm giving this game a 9.5. It is absolutely a great game of this year, and it's great to have this review out. The next review, I'm not really sure yet. I still have a Dragon Age 2 review to make. I still have an interview to get out, but never mind about that. Guild Wars 2, check it out, ArenaNet, and I hope to see you online. This has been Rahana 100, and catch you guys later.